has been a journey that has taken us since last year, November last year. It has not been easy, but we have all worked together as a team. Because without even one person of each one of us, we could not have reached this point. So I would just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for the part that you played in the success of PowerAfrica 2024.
I would really like us to think about this conference within the context of socio-economic challenges that we are faced with in Africa, specifically challenges that are faced by people that are staying in rural areas, in squatter camps, and also in township areas as well. So I think the question that this conference we're trying to answer is, from an engineering point of view, what are the solutions that we can begin to offer to really people that have got challenges in terms of access to energy?
You know, for those of you that come and visit the continent, we have such great young people with potential, and I think that's my frustration. You know, people always have these negative perspectives, you know, oh, can we trust them? Can we put the money in? You know, I mean, honestly, I've worked around this continent. We have so many young people and good civil servants even who just want to get stuff done, and we just got to ignore some of the noise and just move. So
the PowerAfrica Conference touches entrepreneurship in rural communities in Africa. It talks about technology in rural communities in Africa, and it looks at education in rural communities in Africa. We want Africa solving Africa's problem. We want Africans solving Africans' problem. Yes, we can work with the West to support us in sense of technology, but we want Africans touching the lives of Africans. We know our people better, and who better to solve our problems.
As you know, a lot of times rural women are being left behind because they have little opportunity to earn an income. So what we have done is we go into these rural communities, and we know that most of them are doing subsistence farming. We want to move these women from subsistence farming to farming for business. And the way in which we do that is by helping them either form cooperatives or build the capacity of existing cooperatives.
In terms of like these prospect lists, one of the things that talking to the board, I want them to understand that I'm not the only one fundraising in this organization. They have a role as well.
We want more volunteers, we want more applicants, we want to do more of these small enterprises, and then the ones that start blossoming, we will give them more money so that they can then be prepared to go raise money from other sources to grow even further beyond what they can do with our money. We are a seed funding agency. You know, we don't fund in perpetuity. We will fund in the early period, and this is a period where this kind of money is quite difficult to get. Often this is referred to as the chasm of death, that you are standing on one side, you can't go to the other side because the opportunity for technology support, the opportunity for buying that money, that kind of stuff is not available. And what we are doing then is enabling that in the early phase, and we want to enable more of them, for which we are asking for more volunteers and more funding.
The model's working. I've got an amazing team, and I think, just to go to some of our ladies, you know, they can put 60 cabbages in a tricycle and get door to door. So the beauty is the women can be messaged and say, oh, my tomatoes are ready for harvest. You can go right to the field, pick up the tomatoes, and then go to where there might be, you know, the truck aggregating to go to town.
What I especially appreciate is that there's so many developers that Smart Village has funded, and they convene us every year to come together to share our experience. And it's wonderful to see how some of the developers have really progressed, and we're able to share information with one another, and that helps us. This is really a unit, a close unit that we can call on each other for support. even though someone might be in Nigeria or Cameroon and we're in Rwanda and Uganda, it doesn't matter. We know that we have this network of people that will support our efforts.
I am going to engage with you on the cooking stoves. Yeah, so one of the also solutions that have been provided here is also the renewable energy cooking stoves as well. We know that a lot of communities, they are in areas where really there's lots of challenges where also you'll hear stories of people causing fire while they are cooking. It's a question of they really don't have these solutions that this conference is beginning to provide.
So we went to the communities and interviewed and asked people who already own the stoves and people who don't own yet what have been their perceptions. And we found very interesting results. First of all, the impacts perceived have been very different for different family members. On the one side, for women, they perceived the main value came from time saving as well as income generating activities, that also it comes from the new gain time, and also from the reduced smoke due to this clean energy solution. On the other side, men was perceiving the benefits mainly on expenses reduction, and also they started cooking. They mentioned that before cooking was a taboo for them, but now with this new technology they are happily engaging in cooking and helping at home also. As well, the boys have started and girls as well started cooking because now it's much easier compared to traditional ways.
In the field of education, I think the biggest role that electrical engineering played was in promoting lighting. In this case, when you provide lighting to people, you are able to give them more time, especially for children who usually study at night. And in this way, you are able to give them a future. And on the same, lighting is very important for providing energy for schools, which in a nutshell inform people about climate change, and on a run-around basis they are able to come up with solutions to these issues.
But most importantly, I think what is important is that we don't just go and provide solutions and answers, but we also make sure that the people that are living in these communities, they become the entrepreneurs, and they also become capacitated. We're talking about sustainable development, which is part of also making sure that they are the ones that come up with the solutions. They are the ones that get the grants from IEEE ISV, so that they can then apply to solve the challenges in their own communities as well.
We try really to improve every time, to give a chance to the young students in Africa, an opportunity to publish, to get known by the scientific community. And we have seen really a lot of them who got to excellence, and many of them are even today after graduation serving as officers of this conference.
So in this conference, I happily participating and have been happily discussing with other people also of potential future solution. It has been great to hear from the experiences of others, how they address the challenges, and I think there is a lot also that we can learn in these projects and upcoming projects. So I think this is just a great place for this type of sharing the experiences and for improving the future projects and interventions.
I would really encourage a lot of people to come in and join, especially young people, especially students as well, so that they can then be able to capacitate themselves, especially if it's engineering students from these communities that really, in terms of resources, they are really struggling. They don't have access to resources. So there's a lot to learn in this conference. There's a lot to also network and engage and interact with other people and collaborate with other people, so that we can begin to find solutions that are really at the heart of solving community challenges.
So on behalf of the committee, on behalf of the steering committee, on behalf of our main sponsors and other sponsors, I then declare this edition of PowerAfrica Conference officially closed. Thank you.
So basically, our lab has been established under the framework of World Bank, and it was established under the framework of Energy Storage Partnership under the World Bank, right? And the World Bank did the study, and they found out that there's a need for energy storage applications in the country, but they found a gap in that study to say, look, we need an energy storage test bed, right? To test the battery. The first procedure that we do here, we do the reception test. With the reception test, it's just a safety precaution, right? What we do, we just take the weight of the battery, and we test the resistance of the battery, and we do the insulation test of the battery, and we measure the reception voltage of the battery, then we record those. So one of the issues is cell balancing, right? So if you have the batteries in series, all of them, and one battery is actually underperforming, there's something called, it's either passive or active balancing. So the BMS will be programmed to know how to deal with that, with that cell.
There is two papers that are out based on the data that we
But then when you start charging it, so those lithium that are deposited onto that material, the lithium cobalt is a material. Those lithium will go back to the anode side. And those graphite will be excited because they are waiting for that lithium. Then they will start to expand and accumulate. Got it. Thank you. I appreciate it. You see? We have to
Today we went to the battery energy storage facility at CSIR, where we looked at how cells are made, manufactured from coin cells to commercialization.
Scale up the process from a gram scale or laboratory scale to the prototype scale. We call this our pouch cell facility because these machines here have the assembly line that makes pouch cells. The pouch is a pocket, and the cell is fitted in a pocket. Looks like this.
And we also went to the solar testing lab where we looked at how PV cells are tested under standard test conditions and all the different processes.
Yeah, so this light that is coming out of the cells is in the infrared region. That's why we cannot see it with our naked eye, but there's a specialized camera that we use to capture the defects, which can be cracks, micro cracks, or dead substrings, or any defects that we cannot see with our naked eye.
On the intensity side, meaning how do you control how much light the panel receives. The equipment can range from 100 watts per meter square to 1,200 watts per meter square. With that, we can perform STC measurements, standard test conditions. What you see there that says CAL 037 is actually our world-class reference cell. It's the same technology as the PV panel. We actually use that to calibrate the equipment.
I left this conference optimistic about the future of energy in Africa, and would like to call upon all the young people to take advantage of these opportunities and drive change.
So far, the PowerAfrica Conference has been nothing but a success. The conversations were quite relevant. The rich, diverse professionals that were brought in really shared with us expansive knowledge on the topic, and we've concluded the conference with a technical tour to a research center where we've learned and explored the potentials of energy generation in Africa. So I can't wait for PowerAfrica Conference in Egypt, inshallah. See you there.